Alas, I am here. This your boy P9 reporting live with another video. And today I am at Old Town Sacramento, or Old Sacramento, whatever you want to call it. This very historical district next to downtown Sacramento. And I'm just going to take you on a little walking tour, do a little narration along the way. You know how I do. So it's just really starting to get sunny. When I first got out here, it was kind of cloudy, so it's not really the hottest of hottest days as you would expect in Sacramento, but you have to understand this is still spring, so we're still getting those springtime temperatures. So and also it's not super crowded as it would be on the weekend. This is a Thursday, May 12th, 2022 to be exact. So yes, it's not a real heavy crowd, which is what I like, because you know, there's availability of parking, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is Old Town Sacramento. So every time I come over to Old Town Sacramento, I feel like I just took a step onto the set of some old Western movie or something, like one of those old Tombstone Doc Holliday films or something. I feel like any minute now I'm gonna spot Clint Eastwood, or maybe not Clint Eastwood, maybe like a Wyatt Earp. The OK Corral. This is the vibes that I get every time I come out here. But it is a very historical district. Remember, like back in the 1800s, Sacramento, and as well as Northern California, was known for the gold rush. So the gold rush was real big around the mid 19th century. As you can see over here, there's what looks like a field trip. Looks like some kids are at a field trip to Old Sac, so that's pretty cool. Get the kids out of school. I remember those days. So right now, I'm over here. There's a whole bunch of like souvenir shops. This is close to where the rail yard is. Let me go over here. So as you would expect, you would see a lot of tourists over here. You may see a few locals, but mostly tourists, because this is a tourist attraction. Probably by far the most famous tourist attraction in Sacramento. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Have a jazz, looks like a jazz duo performing, which is what I like about coming out here. I like coming out here because I don't know if you guys have heard me. It was a motorcycle that just passed by, but I like coming out to be around the people. And you also get to see kind of like the culture. You get that vibe of people. Like you, as we just saw, it was two jazz musicians performing. So it does bring some flavor to the area, to the ambiance. But yeah, as you can see, it's a lot of shops, a lot of mom and pop, small businesses. It's pretty cool. Little jewelry, like some jewelry shops, handcrafted jewelry. You see here, it's like a little costume shop. And there's also a bunch of restaurants as well. So let me keep going. I'm gonna go over here to the main attraction of Old Town Sac. I mean, it's a lot to see over here that I'm gonna capture later on. But what I want to get, I want to go to the riverfront. As you can still hear that beautiful jazz music in the background. It's like one of my favorite genres of music is jazz. I love jazz music, especially the old Delta blues, like jazz from, you know, that era. I like Delta blues and I like jazz. But we're over here now at, before we go to the waterfront, I want to get this over here, what looks like a, I don't know, like a little navigation steam, like building. I don't know what it's called, but it's like it's basically a railroad, old railroad stop. So it's a few restaurants over there. And you see right here, we're at the railroad tracks. I think it's pretty cool how the railroad tracks sit right next to the riverfront, as you're about to see in a few seconds. Now here, what we have here as we approach the Sacramento River, riverfront, as you can see right here, this is the Delta King. It's a riverboat that has a hotel. Yes, you heard that right. There's a hotel on board of this ship right here. And again, it's called the Delta King. I've been over here previously. I didn't actually stay in the hotel, but I actually got a chance to, me and my girlfriend got a chance to go on to the ship, and we actually saw what the hotel looked like. It was actually pretty neat. It's pretty pricey, so you're gonna pay, as you would imagine, you're gonna pay a pretty penny to stay overnight, but it's pretty nice. You see over here, you see the patios, the decks right there. So in the distance, you see some of the buildings of downtown Sacramento, and there's a lot of people that are having their photo ops. And over here, you see like the little trains over here. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. It's good to actually come out and see the people. How you guys doing? Good, good. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And in the distance right over here, I'm not quite sure what the name of this building is, but Sacramento, right along the riverfront, does have some really nice architecture, but that's actually located across the river in West Sacramento. As you can see right here, there goes the picturesque Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge crosses from downtown Sacramento into West Sacramento into Yolo County. So that's pretty interesting, like how those two cities are connected. But this is, And as you can see over here, there's like a little Ferris wheel. Well, I shouldn't say little, it's actually pretty big, but you get the idea. It's a Ferris wheel right here, nestled right next to the river. There's a cafe right here. And they actually have dining on the patio. So for those who like sitting outdoors and enjoying the beautiful view of the river and the bridge. It's a nice day also to be out, you know, riding scooters, riding bicycles. I would love to bring my bike out here one of these days and just ride around. I love bike riding, especially in environments like this. It's nice and peaceful. You see the people out. You see families out just enjoying themselves. This is what life is all about. Okay, they got a candy shop over here. Let me keep walking because I get tempted every time I see candy, and it makes me want to go in there and just buy up everything up in sight. So let me just keep it moving. Oh wow. See, out of the handful of times that I've been to Old Sacramento, this is the first time I've actually, yes, for some strange reason my video just stopped recording out of nowhere. So right now I am standing out in front of what looks like a comedy club. It says Laughs Unlimited, so this is a comedy club right here in Old Town Sacramento. Now the crazy thing is, out of the handful of times that I've been out to Sacramento, this is the first time that I've actually saw the actual building, the actual venue. But as you can see, they have a whole bunch of famous comedians that passed through here. You know, Seinfeld, Rodriguez, Leno, Ellis Rodriguez, a whole bunch of, like, you know, celebrities passed through here. Dave Collier, Kibby Dillon, Dana Carvey, DJ Sandu, Lance Woods, and Elaine Bozier. So yeah, you know, there's a few flyers over here with upcoming shows that are coming up this summer. So it's a pretty interesting area. So if you're ever in town and you're into comedy, come check out the the Unlimited Laughs comedy venue right near the riverfront in Old Sacramento. I mean, this weather is actually perfect today. It's not extremely hot and it's not really extremely cold either. You don't feel any breeze, so it's really a nice balance. as far as the weather is concerned. If I had to guess, it's probably like in the high 60s, low 70s maybe. So it's warm, but it's not extremely hot like you would expect for anywhere in the Central Valley. But you know, but like I said, it's still spring, so we haven't received any summertime temp. Well, let me take that back. We have had some days that were in the 80s and 90s, but you know, these weather patterns are so unpredictable. One day it can be 60 and extremely windy, and the next day it can be 80 something degrees and feel like, you know, actual summertime weather. So you just never know. It's more interesting shops. It's like a little like toy emporium. So there's like a lot of train tracks and toys people like to collect. So a good place to go for people who like to collect toys, and also those with children, of course. I'm sorry, I don't have anything. Sorry. Little burger spot right here, and they also offer outdoor dining. You know? Hey. Hey.
God bless you, man. Wow. God bless you, man. Thank you. God bless you, man. Thank you so much. Wow. God bless you, man. Thank you.
Yep. Cool. Old Sacramento. River City Shooting Gallery. Nice. Now we're at Finnegan's Pub. So yes, there is a pub right here in historic Old Sacramento, right here on the riverfront. So there's also a Mexican restaurant. What I like about Old Sacramento is the variety of shops. Like, there's a little bit of everything for everybody. I mean, if you ask me, this beats actually going to the mall. I'd rather be here than at the mall, you know, because at least it gives you that experience of being outdoors. meeting people, and yeah, it's just a better experience in my opinion. But yes, they got a tattoo and piercing establishment. What I also noticed is that there aren't any like big name commercial establishments, and I think that's how they prefer it. I think they prefer to keep it kind of grassroots and not have, you know, they'd rather keep it grassroots and not have a whole lot of like commercial establishments that you would see in a regular shopping center or some, I guess, mall or anything of that sort. So that pretty much does it. I'm gonna wrap it up right here for now. Until next time, peace out. Well, here we are at the Vernon Brannon House, or at least that's what this building is called. It's called the Vernon Brannon House. Now, as you can see on this first level, there's a souvenir shop. Further down, there's like a bar and cafe called Fat City, and also another little restaurant. And right here is the little placard, the plaque rather, excuse me, plaque that gives you the history of this building. Now, as you can see, Sacramento's first post office was actually located on this lot in 1849. In 1853, Henry E. Robinson bought the lot from Samuel Brannon and built this 3-story brick building, naming it the James Hotel. Now, this building was formerly a hotel. It was, as you can see, it is a 3-story building, and it does have the design and the architectural layout of a holiday, or excuse me, of a hotel. And it's right across this building right here called Tahama Block. And there's also a rail yard a little further down this way if you keep walking down. But there's more that I still haven't even seen. But yeah, this is basically it's so much to Old Town Sacramento that I haven't even got a chance to get to. But I'm gonna do my best. This is later in the day, so the weather has warmed up drastically. It's a family jewelry store right over here. Right here is the Central Pacific Railroad building. I think they're called depots or passenger stations. So as you can see, Sacramento is an old railroad town. Now, of course, it's not Sacramento, or it's not Old Town Sacramento, unless you see some freight cars, and some locomotives. Now here is a Union Pacific car. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of railroads. I'm a rail fan. At some point, I'm gonna go out and check out the Amtrak station in downtown Sacramento. But yes, this is, as you can see, it's one of these historic passenger stations. Now, obviously, this was back in the the mid 1800s. This was before interstate highways were even invented. So primarily the method of transportation was either passenger train or stagecoach. But yeah, see, you can see right here it's fenced off, but you see the little terminal right here, and here's a Sacramento Southern rail coach, and here's the other side of that Union Pacific car. For all you history buffs, this is a great place to come, because right here, where you see there's a lot of children, as well as looks like parents and perhaps staff from a school. Looks like a field trip. Looks like they went on they have a school trip or something to that effect. Which is, again, as I stated earlier, this is one of the best places to come to bring your children or to bring your students. Get them out the classroom for a little while. Here you see right here the Sacramento History Museum. It's interesting that they have like a railroad, kind of like a replica of a railroad town right next to a sprawling downtown area. I always thought that was pretty interesting. Usually stuff like this is somewhere kind of like on the outskirts of the city, but this is like right next to downtown. You can see the highway, which with all intents and purposes pretty much made this method of transportation obsolete. You know, passenger rail became obsolete after the highways took over. The interstate highway system was invented. So I think that's pretty ironic that you have a railroad town replica, so to speak, right next to basically the infrastructure that replaced it. Now, of course, there still is passenger rail that's available via Amtrak, And of course, you know, certain cities do have public transportation that uses the railroads, but as far as an overall primary method of transportation, it's basically the highway system, automobiles. And here is the museum entrance. Mechanics Exchange building. So it's like a 3-story building. Not quite sure what that second and third floor is occupied or being used for, but I know this first floor. I know the first floor is there's like a candy store. This is like the second one that I've seen since I've been over here. And there's a barber and a salon, looks like, right here at the end. So it's interesting that they use these historical buildings, these old buildings from like the mid 19th century, and they repurposed them for commercial use. That's pretty interesting. But that's what happens when you know, you preserve these historical sites. You know, you can use them for pretty much anything you want to use them for. I was actually pretty shocked that I was able to land a parking space, because there's quite a crowd out here right now. But I'm gonna end it for now right here. So until then, next time, I'm out.